The recent phenomenal wave of political assassination, murders, armed banditry, kidnapping, and general eruption of insecurity in Nigeria has put both the government and the populace on the edge. There is hardly a day that passes without sorry tales of premeditated killings, armed robbery, and other crimes and attacks nationwide. In the face of the deploring security situation confronting the nation at this time, it is believed that only a decentralization of the force, as practiced in most developed countries, can rescue the nation from the precipice. At present, the police strength is put at about 371,800 as against a population of 180 million Nigerians. Judged by the United Nations standard, the number of available policemen is grossly inadequate, as it does not meet the 400 to 1 ratio requirement. With a state police structure, the federating units would be able to determine their security needs and raise enough manpower to meet them. At present, each state has its own peculiar security challenges, which can only be better managed by the officers who are familiar with the terrain, culture, and way of life of a particular people in a given locality. On the contrary, creating state police at this stage of the present democratic experiment may be an invitation to chaos. Apart from the impunity of office and the possibility of abuse of power, state police could lead to the disintegration of the country, especially now with the fragile unity in the country. The proposed amendment also gives governors absolute power over the security personnel in the states. The danger is that the power could be abused and governors could use them to fight perceived enemies. The examples of State Independent Electoral Commission, which conducts local government council elections, readily comes to mind. In almost every state that conducts local polls, the party in power in the state sweeps everything. This is an indicator of what could happen if governors have state police forces. Another problem we have is the indigent settler syndrome. If there is a clash between two groups, as often happens, state police will most probably take side with the so-called indigenes. History has it that some regional political leaders abused local policing, as the local police force was used as instrument of political intimidations and harassment against their opponents. Even now, the tendency is still very high for some over-ambitious political leaders to turn state police to an instrument of a political vendetta. For instance, in 1891, the Consul General of the Oil Rivers Protectorate in what is presently eastern Nigeria expressed shock at the numerous acts of lawlessness and pillage by the police, who were commonly referred to in the community as the 40 thieves in police uniform. Also, the military government that emerged after two military coups in 1966 disbanded local police forces amidst allegations that the local police had been used for partisan purposes by the regional government against political opponents. Obviously, a decentralized police structure will put additional financial responsibility on the states, and there is the fear in some quarters that development may put some underfunded states under undue pressure if the responsibility of policing is put under care. Despite its merit, it is apparent that establishing state police would do the country more harm than good, and also add to the nation's current security issues.